Today, we're going to discuss the Rolex market as it stands in May 2024. So last month, we saw the newly released models as well as the discontinued pieces in the Rolex lineup. This news has affected the market price of certain models, and we'll talk about that in this video. But firstly, I want to set the scene with regards to what has been happening with Rolex prices over the last few years. Feel free to skip this part if you want to jump straight to the model-specific market updates. As you may well know, the watch market peak prices happened around March of 2022. At this point, there were a large number of Rolex models that were very difficult to obtain at retail price from Rolex authorized dealers. The high demand and low supply pushed the market prices of many models to levels way above their original retail price. Since then, the market prices across the board have been slowly returning to pre-pandemic levels. At the same time, brand new Rolex retail prices from authorized dealers have been rising year on year. So what this means is that the gap between the retail price and the market price has slowly been closing, and now there are less models that trade above their retail price. We are seeing some macro trends across the Rolex catalogue. The majority of full gold pieces are available at a notable discount. Steel and gold also tends to be available under list price, and steel professional models on the whole are sitting above retail price depending on the individual popularity. Recently, the month-to-month price changes in the market on the whole have been relatively small. Pieces are selling, price points are changing, and buyers are seeking value in the market. You'll probably hear people calling this a good time to buy or a buyer's market, and it certainly is true that buyers can get a lot more watch for their money right now than they could 2 years ago. Alright, let's look at the models that have recently moved down in price, why that may be, and how they are performing right now. Steel and gold Submariners, both in blue and the black, can be found at a discount. The blue still outperforms the black by around £1,000, but both can be found under the $13,750 list price. We're seeing two-tone watches available for the same price or less than their steel counterparts across multiple ranges, so if you prefer the extra weight and luxuriousness of steel and gold, it could be the smart choice. The Rootbeer has been one of the best sellers at Watch Trader, but we're now seeing them very close to the list price of £14,300. So if you don't want to wait on a list, you can pick one of these up for a touch over retail in the market. It's a similar story with the Guinness in steel and yellow gold on the Jubilee with the black and grey bezel. I think this is one of the best looking GMT-Master IIs and currently prefer it to the recently released all steel version. However, with a list price of $14,600, you can now pick them up in the market for around $15,000. The Sprite and the Pepsi. Both of these models were few and far between in the market before Watches and Wonders, particularly the Pepsi. Both are still in production, and as a result, there are now more in the market from people who don't want to hold on until 2025 to find out if they've been discontinued. This has resulted in a value reduction of around $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the bracelet and the age. We tend to find that the Sprite is more frequently traded than the Pepsi, and less people buy the Sprite to actually wear. Okay, the rose gold olive dial Day 40. It didn't get discontinued and prices have softened. The market price is closing in on the retail price, so it's one to keep an eye on if you're looking to buy the watch this year. The model that we get offered the most and have the most demand for is the yellow gold with the green dial. Again, the price has softened slightly in the market to around $45,000. Still, it's over the list price of $33,800. Now, I think the Roman dial Champagne Day Date is a great classic choice that can be found for significantly less than the hype dials, and is one to watch if you're looking for value in the Day Date range. Okay, so the Explorer 1 is edging closer to list price. At Watch Trader, we tend to have more people offering to sell us the 40mm and likewise more people looking to buy the bigger model. Now, I know that many enthusiasts prefer the 36, and I agree that the Explorer looks great in that size, but in general, the market seems to favour the larger size, probably because it has a higher value and people looking to sell the watch can achieve a higher price. So onto the Explorer 2. This is a watch that a lot of you guys have been buying from the ADs, and we're seeing a lot of them being offered to us, and you can now buy them in the market at retail price. The white dial still outperforms the black, and if you like the watch and don't want to wait, you can pick it up today in the market without a premium. Okay, what about the watches where the price has remained largely the same in the last month? The Datejust 41. The Mint and the Wimbledon continue to be the most sought after dials that you guys are looking to buy, and this is reflected in that we're offered these dials most frequently in brand new watches. We've sold a number of two-tone models under list price in the last month. People looking for steel and gold can save money buying on the market as opposed to brand new. Personally, I think there's good value to be had in the white or the black dial in steel. Both of these are timeless and can be purchased on the market for considerably less than the top premium dials. These watches are in high demand, but also relatively high supply, so I think the market price will remain where it is in the near future. Okay, so what about the Submariner? We buy and sell the date model in greater numbers than the no-date version. I personally prefer the symmetrical dial of the Submariner, but the buyers out there prefer the Submariner date. The Starbucks has less supply compared to the black sub, resulting in a higher market price. However, if you're looking for value in the market right now, I would look at the Mark I bezel, as you can pick this up for a few £1,000s less than the Mark II. When it comes to GMTs, the BLNR, Batman or Batgirl are both holding strong at around 13 to 14k and continue to be one of the most popular watches for us to buy and sell. Interestingly, since the announcement of the steel GRNR, at this point the watch community has named it the Bruce Wayne, we've seen a peak in interest in the older full black bezel GMT, the 116710LN. That watch was produced between 2007 and 2019 and can be purchased for around £9,500 for an older watch. The Oyster Perpetual conversation revolves around the green dial and the celebration dial. The green tends to be purchased by people who have multiple Rolex watches and are looking for something a little different and less serious with a pop of colour for their current rotation. The celebration, on the other hand, is a watch that has very little demand from buyers in the market. The market price is way over list at around $15,000, but most buyers are speculating with the price of that watch and aren't buying it to wear. OPs are still hard to obtain from an AD, and interestingly, we're probably offered the black dial the most often. If you want this watch in any dial colour apart from the celebration and don't want to wait an unknown length of time, it's probably better to just pay a small premium and buy it on the market. I have a feeling that production numbers on the Oyster Perpetual are relatively low because they are an entry-level model and Rolex can probably make higher margins on their higher price point models. The new 126 reference steel Daytona models are strong, with the white selling around 29k and the black at around 25k. You might notice that the price difference between them has increased compared to the previous 116 reference models, which would suggest that the number of white dials in the market are increasingly fewer. The two-tone, especially with the black dial, has been quite popular at around 19k. Again, better value for money if you like steel and gold watches. This brings us to one of the precious metal exceptions in that the Oysterflex Daytona models are holding better value than the majority of precious metal Rolex pieces. The best ones in terms of demand here at Watch Trader are the white gold Ghost and the yellow gold Pikachu. A lot of you guys prefer the older 1-1 reference, and I know that the Ghost is in particular high demand because of the lower price point when compared to the latest model. Okay, that wraps up this market update. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.